My name is Jim Wilkins and I live in Damascotta, Maine. And this past June, my wife and I bought the Inergy Apex solar generator with 3 solar panels. And we took it on a camping trip around the US. We used it all the time, and in a word, this thing is fantastic. We ran a refrigerator in our van, a fan at night when we wanted to keep some air moving through it. We also used the LED lights that the system came with. It came with 3 lights. And we would charge our phones and our computer when we weren't driving. It's really easy to use, and that's one of the reasons I got it. It's just, you turn the switch on, you plug your devices in, and away you go. It's just doing its thing. The other thing that I really like about it was lightweight. It only weighs about 25 pounds, and I could fit it behind the driver's seat. We just have a minivan that we converted for our camping trip. And it just fit there beautifully, and I could access it, plug it in as I needed to, and plug the panels in when we needed to use the panels. We have the 3 panels that we would use when we were in a campsite. But if we went to a restaurant, or we went on a hike, or we were just kind of doing some tourist things, we would put 1 or 2 of the panels on the windshield of our van and just trickle charge the battery, just to make sure that we had a full charge overnight, or if we were anticipating some really cloudy weather. It's very easy to use, as I said, and it's easy to plug in. So we're going to show you how to set it up and how easy that is. No fancy setup. I just took some sticks and I used the shadow of the panels to tell me where to position them so I get maximum charge. And I am angling them about 70 degrees or so. This time of year the sun's a little lower in the sky, so I have them a little steep. I did try to make sure I had them in the sun all the time, and that worked out beautifully. So I'm just going to plug them in the back here. The system came with 2 6-foot wires, cables, that I plug from one panel to another, and then it comes with a 30-foot cable that goes from the last panel into the generator. And that gave us a lot of flexibility, because we could put the panels away from the car or our tent site and put them in the sun, but still have the generator close by where we could use it. So it's a really simple thing to do. There's only one way to plug it in because of the shape of the devices. They are firm, but they plug right in. And you just chain them together. I can use 1 panel, or I could use 2 panels, or I could use 3 panels, depending on the situation. This is the 30-foot panel cable, and it's going to go into the generator itself. And with this amount of sun, we're going to get a great charge. The panels are now charging. I don't even have to switch the generator on in order to get it started charging. But if I wanted to actually use it, if I'm just going to use my DC or my USB, I'm going to turn it to the right, and now these are active. If I turn it the other direction, then my AC outlets are all active. We did use the AC once in a while to run the refrigerator, but that was pretty rare. Most of the time we ran our refrigerator off of the DC. And the other thing we did once, we had a run of cloudy weather and I was pretty low on the charge, so I actually took the wall charger and I plugged it into the wall, and we just charged up using that. It takes a lot longer to do that, but it still was great to have. The battery was down to 25%. I had a full sun day. I used 3 panels and I had this charged up in 2.5 hours. I was really impressed with the speed of that. And this winter, if we lose power here in Maine, we live in a fairly rural area, and it does happen, then we're probably going to use the generator to keep our refrigerator cold and a couple of lights on in our house. But as I said, this is a really fantastic device, and I look forward to a lot of years using it.